All right, so here's all the forms I'd have when I was on patrol. I actually have this ordered in what I believe is like the most used forms are up front. And then the stuff like I never used was like all back here. So first was the accident exchange info stuff, those pamphlets, because I didn't like looking accident. So I give them the pamphlet and then go 10-8. Impound reports, I did all the time. Impound cars all the time. Peace officer affidavit for protective custody, EOD people all the freaking time. Third party EODs, did those too. Missing runaway reports, did those all the time. DUI refusals, I like to handwrite mine. It was faster, I think. So I kept those here, and most of my DUIs were refusals, so that was super nice. Domestic violence lethality screening, you have to do one of those every time you're on a domestic and it results in a report or an arrest. Victim right hands out, obviously you have to give those to the domestic victims every time you're on one of those. Crime scene log, like if there's a murder or something, you obviously have to have one of those. Consent to search, not too often, but on some of the big cases or whatever, you'll need these. Like the detectives are supposed to have them, but occasionally we do them too. Field show up, actually we use this quite often now because of the DA's request. This is like you find an auto burglar, or someone calls in an auto burglar, they see them, you find them, you'd have the witness do this form, and then you would show them who you found and be like, is this the same guy? And they'd be like, yeah, that's him. But they'd fill this out first, and in here they'd write like, yeah, I recognize him, whatever. Decline to prosecute. If I don't know, like on a mutual combat type deal, or a victim doesn't want to prosecute, it just helps CYA. Found property, really annoying, but if you find property and they don't want to keep it and you have to take it and log it, you got to fill out a found property form. Affidavit, ownership, non-ownership. This is like if someone has a piece of stolen property that they didn't know, like they legitimately didn't know was stolen, obviously they have to give it back, and then you fill this out, and then it's like protects us or something, I don't know. PC affidavits, municipal, this is just in case I want to handwrite mine. Most of the time I did it on a computer at the jail. PC affidavit for district or state charges, again, I would usually type it up at the jail, but sometimes I'd handwrite these if like I was doing a blood test and it was taking forever. So this would be something else I could do. Obviously I'd grab my clipboard first, and then I take this, I go inside the hospital and write that up while I'm waiting. Conditional release, we don't do a ton of these, but this is like if they have a warrant or something and like they're going to be in the hospital for like 10 days, then we'll just kind of unarrest them. But the real word is we're giving them a conditional release, or essentially they'll write down, yeah, I promise to go back. I promise to turn myself in when I get out of the hospital. Yeah, right. But that's not what that form's for. Juvenile custodial release. God, I don't even remember. Oh, that's the exact same form, but just for juveniles. Okay. Crime prevention notices. This is like if you find an open garage door and you can't contact anyone, you'll put that like on their door and be like, hey, I came by, your door was open, you should probably lock it so don't get your stuff stolen. SAID, that's like if you find like elderly people walking around, they don't know who they are, blah, blah, blah. If you're able to find their family, give them one of these SAID pamphlets so they can like, I don't know, like register the old person in our system so we can help identify them easier later. Emergency, oh my gosh, this is a protective order, temporary protective order. These are really rare you do because they only last till the next business day. So there's like no point because the guy's going to be in jail till at least the next business day till he bonds out. If it's like a domestic and he's arrested, and they only work if the person signs it. So it's not valid unless the suspect signs it. So like, I thought those were completely pointless. Blood preservation letter. Occasionally I do these. let's say someone causes a DUI accident and they also get like hurt really bad. Like let's say they kill someone and then they get taken to the hospital too because like they did a head-on collision, and they're gonna get like a blood transfusion to save the suspect's life. We'd fill one of these out so we could like draw their blood before the hospital pumps them full of morphine, because then in the blood test it showed they're full of morphine. Well, that's because they went to the hospital and got the morphine. Property receipt. I think this is the new thing we're doing. If you take property off someone, like you're taking them to jail and you take their backpack and it's going to get logged into evidence, you give them a property receipt. That's really new. I didn't have to do that very often, thank God. That's also why it's in the back, because that started after I made all this, but I bet you would do that all the time now. And then witness statements. God, I hated doing these, but if for some reason you weren't just gonna like take their statement, you could have a witness write their statement down. Like a domestic victim, you might have her like write down her, oh, he hit me in the face, but they won't write that. They'll like talk about like how they've been beaten for like several years and they won't actually talk about the incident at all. It's like completely useless. I hate doing those, but that's what that's for. All right, that's all the forms.